Going into that fight, I was really mentally unwell, and I was quite afraid of winning because I knew that I wouldn't have a goal anymore, and I knew that I'd come crashing down because it was only a matter of time where I was bottling this depression up and all the mental health problems over the years, putting it to the back of my mind because I had to concentrate on the goal in hand. But when I didn't have that goal anymore, I realised that a massive dark cloud was about to approach, and it did.
From the United Kingdom, the new unified heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson
Fury. It started off like I'd suffered with mental health problems my whole life, but I didn't know what it was because I never had no education on the matter. And it wasn't until after the Klitschko fight, a very massive high, then I had to have a even worse low, lowest low that anyone could ever have. I'd wake up and I think, why did I wake up this morning? This is coming from a man who had everything: money, fame, glory, titles, a wife, a family, kids, everything. But I felt as if I had nothing. I felt there was an empty, gaping hole that was just filled with gloom and doom, and it just was one bad thing happened to me after another. I was set focused on what I wanted to do, and that was beat Vladimir Klitschko. And I believe when you've got a goal in mind from being a child all your life, and you do that, then I was lost. I was almost like I didn't have anything more to do in my life. Although I could have carried on and defended the belts and whatever, I wasn't really interested in doing that. I'd beat the man I'd always wanted to do. Because when I was an amateur boxer, I used to watch Vladimir Klitschko on TV as a world heavyweight champion. And I always aimed, he was my target to beat. And when I finally beat him, it was like climbing my Everest. I didn't have anything more to prove. And the fire was dead. There was no fire. I was forcing myself to fight. And I always said, I didn't want to be one of those people who just fought for money. Because there's plenty of people with money in the world, plenty of them. But who knows them? And the reasons for me fighting, it's not for money or for belts or glory. I fight because I don't know anything else. I've always been a fighter, from being born to being 30 years old now.
That night, that glorious night, you go back to your dressing room, and within minutes, it has covered you in its dark cloud.
That's correct, and people would think that it would be impossible to achieve your dreams, like to be a little child and think you want to be heavyweight champion and to follow that path all the way to becoming heavyweight champion. That'd be a fulfilled dream, but for me it was a disaster. It was very evident to see, even in the press conference after the fight, I was very down and subdued when everybody would have been ecstatic and like over the moon for what they just achieved. I've had suicidal thoughts since around about 2012. I've had bouts of depression, but never as severe as until 12. And then I started thinking about death and thinking about wanting to die and killing myself and how I'd do it. I often thought about that. And after this second bout of deep depression, I was at a point of, I really didn't want to live anymore, and I really didn't care about anything or anybody. And even the things that I hold so close to me and the things that I adhere to in my life, they didn't mean anything anymore. And I lost the passion to want to breathe fresh air and want to live. I lost the passion to want. And that's a really lonely, dark place. And especially when you're around people who have no education on the matter and don't understand mental health, and they think you're just an attention seeker or you're looking for some type of pity or whatever. So I was in that car that day, and that was the day I made up my mind that I thought about it before. It was well planned that I was going to smash into this bridge on the motorway. And I thought to myself, right, this is it. And I put my foot down to the floor and I was heading towards the bridge, and I didn't get far away from it before I heard this voice say to me, don't do this. Think about your kids and your family. You're going to destroy so many lives. Wow. And at this time, I was in such a mode where I was about to do it. It was the time I was going to die. And as I pulled out last minute and I drove past it, and I pulled over immediately, and that was the first time I realised I couldn't survive like this anymore, and I couldn't put myself through this mental torture anymore. And that was the first time I went and got medical advice and sought help from a doctor.
And I was out 2017 Halloween. I was a 400 pounds dressed up as a skeleton. And I go to this fancy dress party, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, these are all young kids compared to me. I'm 30 and I feel like I was the oldest guy in there, like 29. I was like, what am I doing here? Is this what you want for your life? And I thought to myself, this is not me. And I left, and everyone said, are you going home early? I said, yeah. I left at 9 o'clock, I went home. And I got back home, I didn't say anything to the wife, I went straight upstairs into a dark room. And I took the stupid skeleton suit off, and I was sat there. And I got on my knees and I was praying and begging God to help me. And at this point, I'd never begged or cried to God to help me before. I'd prayed a lot all my life, but I'd never been in this physical state before. I could feel tears running down my face. My chest was wet with tears because I knew I couldn't do it on my own. It wasn't possible for me. So I was on my knees in this bedroom, and after praying for about 10 minutes, I got up and I felt the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. And for the first time in years, I knew I was going to make a comeback. Next day I phoned up Ben Davison and I said, I don't want to go back down the old route with the same trainer, same promoter, same anything. I said, everything's got to change. I said, it's going to be a new Tyson Fury. And we called it Return of the Mac Mission.
Now I've got the burning flame back inside of me. Guys who's been keeping my throne warm. But on my return, I promise the fans that I will reign supreme once again. I come out a legend and a king. Put me in the jungle, I'll be a ruler. Put me in space, I'd own the place. Put me anywhere in the world and it's going off. Because I am the Gypsy King. I am Tyson Fury. Remember the name. Peace out. Bitches.
From that round, big right hand there. That's the sort of shot that Fury will be wanting as he plans his course back.
That uppercut is the shot. He's pretty quick.
Oh, that's a side shot, it's a very and this is the moment you're asking him, and he's saying, no, I don't want any more. And the referee, Phil Edwards.
He's looking for the shot. He's not coming. He hasn't come in here. He's looking for the one punch. But I do like what I'm seeing from Tyson Fury.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, our referee Charles Steve Gray scores the contest 100-90 in favor of your winner and still undefeated Tyson Fury.
They called. I answered. I said, send me the contract.
They sent a contract. I said yes. And now he gets his chance to fight the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. My promise is, I got me rounds here tonight, 10 rounds. But one thing I promise when I go to Las Vegas is I'm knocking you the fuck out, boom. Boom.
Never had it. He done had many belts, but he's never had the WBC belt. And if he ever think about having this belt, he better wake up and apologize to me because he'll never have this. I can't wait to fight you because I am going to knock you out. This I promise you. Every victim that stepped in the ring, I'd have knocked them out in devastating fashion. You've never been knocked out, but you're going to feel the experience, what it feels to get hit by the bronze bomb.
Girls with their nails done now. Nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done now.
Tyson Fury has become the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world. As the corner has thrown in the towel, there is a new champion, and his name is Tyson Fury. What a moment!
He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is still the undefeated lineal heavyweight champion and the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
This comeback, beating Wilder after the timeout and after the weight and everything else that goes with it, it's a fairy tale ending. Even better than defending me titles when I had them. A man goes from rags to riches, loses it all within a year, but wins it back again all within a year of his comeback. How great of a story is that?